Welcome to the Field of 68 After Dark's YouTube channel. We are going to be live every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time right here on YouTube and on Stadium for the entirety of the spring. They are Oregon, and the biggest reason for Oregon is that Mfale Dante got his waiver for a fifth year denied. I don't want to go into whether or not that was the correct decision because I think that there are pretty fair arguments on both sides. And, unless we want to be able to let guys just play forever, which I probably wouldn't complain about, but I think that the NCAA is justified in the decision that they made there. And the other one was Wisconsin. You lost your top four guys, two of whom transferred because the other places that they ended up going were able to pony up more money. And the biggest thing that they ran into is last season kind of got derailed because some of that stuff started popping up at the wrong time of year. So am I wrong? Do you have any other teams that are big losers, or is it Oregon and Wisconsin for you?
I actually would say, to me, it's probably Wisconsin and Iowa for me. I just think Iowa, lost Tony Perkins. I know he had kind of checked out at the end of the year. He goes to Missouri, and Patrick McCaffrey, listen, it had run its course, and he goes to Butler. But I don't know if they have enough. They got Peyton Sanford back, which was good. Owen Freeman was terrific, but they don't have a great NIL package, and that's when you look at like probably Wisconsin and Iowa and some of these schools. Most of the Big Ten has pretty good NIL. Now Michigan State, Izzo didn't really dive in again. He got your boy Frankie Fiddler on the roof. But other than that, they didn't really go into the portal very much, and he didn't go in at all a year ago. So it's really interesting to see, whether this works this year. He had enough freshmen coming in last season, and to me, that's going to be the key. How some of these guys progress from their freshman to their sophomore year.
Yeah. I was just never that high on Iowa to start with. Like I would lump Iowa in with a team like Minnesota that lost a whole bunch, but is also kind of like what were we expecting there out of them. I wouldn't put Michigan State in that conversation. I don't. We're going to talk about this a little bit more when we get
I'm not
to
saying
the
loser.
next segment.
I guess you're right. They're more of like, I just want to see Izzo lean into the portal a little bit more than he has to get one mid-major guy. And again, I think Frankie Fiddler is a nice player, but you're going to be so reliant on, some of the guys. Jay Nakins didn't take a jump last year. Like I'd love to put him as a breakout player again, but at some point you're like, Jay Nakins probably is what he is.
Yeah, so I'm more, and I guess we can get to the Michigan State conversation now. I'm more betting on the idea that Jeremy Fears and Xavier Booker are going to be guys that step into much bigger roles. I think Jeremy Fears is going to start at the point. If all goes according to plan and Xavier Booker starts at the 4, then I think that you have a couple of big guys that can kind of rotate through with the 5. I would love to see lineups that had Booker and Cohen Carr playing together. I don't know if we'll necessarily see that out of Tom Izzo, but I don't hate the idea of betting on your ability to identify and develop freshmen and filling the gaps with the with players out of the transfer portal. I think getting Frankie Fiddler, who is probably going to be their best or second best wing, and getting Simon Zapala, I guess is that where we're going to go with the pronunciation, the Longwood transfer, just to kind of be like a 10 to 12 minute per game guy at the 5 spot is not the worst thing in the world. So I like seeing some of these guys that are zagging when everybody else is zigging, that are just kind of saying, look, we're going to bet on the development we have. Because if you look at the teams that have had the best transfer classes the last couple of years, they didn't necessarily turn into the best results that season. So I do think that there is something to be said for the ability to be able to create that culture of continuity. And whether or not it ends up working for Tom Izzo is yet to be seen. But I'm not going to, you could be the guy that's going to bet against Tom Izzo finding a way to get a team to win. I'm not going to be the guy that's going to be betting against Tom Izzo finding a way to win. I'll let you be on that island.
Yeah, I just would have liked to see them go after like an elite transfer. Just go after a dude, and then because I think that's what they're missing here. I don't think they have a dude yet. Not that we see. I mean, Jeremy Fears, I love in high school and AU, but we don't know how he's going to be. Trey Holloman's a nice player. Jaden Akins, like I said, kind of is what he is at this point. And Xavier Booker probably took a jump, but I don't think we're expecting Xavier Booker to put up 15 and 10 every night. So what do you have then? You got a bunch of good players, and then you're relying on Tom Izzo to have to outcoach everybody. Where to me, I would have loved to have seen him get one more dude out of the portal, like one more big.
Where I will agree with you, where I will agree with you is that Umar Ballo didn't look at Michigan State, nor Chad O'Meara wasn't really pursued by Michigan State. Cliff Amori, Jonas Adu. You go down the list of some of the best big guys that were in the portal, and none of them were involved with a program that is considered one of the top 10 programs in college basketball that had a major void at the 5 spot. And what Michigan State ended up with was a guy that spent 3 years riding the bench for Utah State before averaging 9.8 points in 16 minutes or whatever it was at Longwood, playing in the Big South. So that is where I will agree with you. But at the end of the day, like, Tom Izzo's Tom Izzo. I think he's going to find a way to be able to make this team be able to win enough games. And if he's betting on a couple of really highly touted freshmen that he thinks are going to be going to do well, then I kind of like seeing those teams that develop players over the years. Thanks for watching the Field of 68 After Dark. Make sure to hit that like button.